now to the story of Adirondack artist Diane Leifheit, who has spent the past couple of years getting to know many of her neighbors in Saranac Lake, New York, including producer Josh Clement, who shows us the up-close and very personal way Diane has met her neighbors face to face.
Saranac Lake, New York area artist Diane Leifheit has had a long love affair with color. It comes out in her fine art pastel paintings of Adirondack faces and places. In 2014, she honed in on a singular project that would connect her to her community in 185 unique ways. She called it Face to Face, drawn to Saranac Lake.
It occurred to me at some point in time, probably within the last 10 years, that I wanted to do something with the faces in Saranac Lake. And that's because Saranac Lake has been my town longer than any other town in my whole life.
So Diane began the year-long process of capturing 185 faces in pastel. The work, also referred to as portraiture, gave her an opportunity to interact with fellow community members. Subjects were required to sit mostly still for 2 hours. A unique space was needed.
I went down to Compass Printing in Saranac Lake, and I saw that little space in the corner, and I was going, this is the perfect spot. And I asked the owner, John, I said, can I do this? And I explained to him what I was up to, and he's going, sure, why not? And I'm going, okay, next week I'm gonna be here Tuesday morning. And Tuesday morning, it was January. A friend of mine, Kat Michaels, came walking down the road and going, Kat, what are you doing here? She said, I came to see how you were doing. And I said, come on in. You're the first one. Towards May, I was booked into July. By October, I was booked through December. And I had to call up people to remind them.
As the project rolled along, Diane became more and more aware of the fact that she was capturing a moment in time.
I was looking at them so intensely for those 2 hours, and we were talking too, that I was in tune to who they were then, and I can see the change in a year and a half now.
Diane quickly learned that her subjects embraced the project in a variety of ways.
Some people were doing it because they felt obligated to a project that was supporting Saranac Lake, and other people were doing it because they wanted to have a portrait to give to their mom. All the reasons that people are doing it are very different, but most of them had a civic strain to it because it was so town-wide, global in a way. I was telling people it's not about just Saranac Lake, because Saranac Lake, if you go to its borders of its school district, is very, very big. And if you think about how many people work in Saranac Lake but don't live there, who visit Saranac Lake, who are entertained in Saranac Lake, who come and do projects in Saranac Lake and then go back to New Jersey, there's a ton of people who come through Saranac Lake.
And while Diane herself is a member of that group, the Face to Face project has been a labor of love requiring much time and energy.
When people say, how much time did you spend? Well, 2 hours with a person, half hour either side setting up, driving into town or not. I did 2 a day usually, so I'd be there half hour off, go get some lunch, and then be ready for the next person. And then I was putting in like a 6.5, 8 hour day, depending. I always had the feeling with people, they were like, okay, I'm done, I really need to get going. They've got things in the back of their mind. Telling people they only needed to sit 2 hours gave them a window of what their availability was, I think.
A project of this magnitude not only requires a lot of time and energy, there are numerous monetary expenses to consider. Diane was able to offset the costs of Face to Face with the help of 2 grants from the New York State Council on the Arts and a third from the Cloudsplitter Foundation. Online backers contributed through an Adirondack Gives crowdfunding campaign. Some gave through Pendragon Theater in Saranac Lake, the fiscal sponsor for the project. From time to time, a donation would come from an unforeseen source.
I also had people who said, I want to take care of something. Let me give you something. So a lot of things got taken care of by people who gave, which helped take care of a lot of the framing, a lot of the materials, some of the gas going back and forth, some of the time for doing the scanning and the printing and that kind of thing. And that's where all the money's going. It's not really going to the dinner table much.
Even still, it's all about taking pride in the work. That wouldn't fully happen for Diane until all 185 faces were together in one place. The face-to-face Drawn to Saranac Lake exhibit opened on November 12, 2015 at the Saranac Lake Free Library. Visitors from near and far marveled at the collection, carefully examining each portrait to see if they knew the person staring back at them. Diane was elated. The work didn't end there, though. At the time of this interview, Diane was planning the next steps for Face to Face.
There's 19 boxes of 185 faces sitting in the hall, clamoring to get out. They're clamoring all the time. So they're going to be out for August. They're going to be in different places. They'll be in Pendragon, and they'll be in historic Saranac Lake, and they're going to be in 2 other venues in Saranac Lake. They won't all be together.
The face-to-face portraits will eventually need to find a more permanent home.
I want to be sure it's in the right place where you'll get cared for, because art doesn't stay static once it's done, and if it's in a really volatile environment, it could be damaged and stuff. So it's got to be in a good place.
And with that, Diane's commitment to the face-to-face project enters its 3rd year. As she seeks a home for her 185 friends, she'll continue to reflect back on the project. Perhaps her 185 friends will do the same. Either way, the old saying rings true: art imitates life.
It changed me. It gave me a tolerance that I didn't have before. It gave me a sensitivity to people and their situation that in the end, you really don't know what anybody's life is like, no matter how much time you spend with them. And they've got things going on in their life, and they've given me some time, and I'm really grateful for that. And I'm grateful for that thing that happened to me this past year that changed who I am a lot. My husband says it, my daughter says it, going, whoa. And it's been a good thing for me, and I'm really grateful for that.